Next question. So this is one of the serious ones. And I'm gonna hit y'all.
All your
Yeah, you know, I gotta hit you with that preface. I'm gonna do 2 in a row because they kind of go hand in hand. How did your family react when you said you were getting married?
We've been together for 10 years already. They was probably like, finally.
Right.
Took while to know.
I think they did
it's
fine.
a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
His parents love me.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Her mom threatened me.
Word.
He keeps saying that. I
I'm
don't.
telling you, that really happened.
What happened? Break it down.
Now, basically, me and her mom have the best relationship. And I just always felt like she was on my side, even when we was going through our tough times. So she wanted me to marry her like 3 years before we actually got married. And we was together, 7 before we got married? So, yeah, but when she's like, when are you gonna marry my daughter? I was already planning. So she knew probably for like 6 months that I was before we got
Mom
married.
knew?
Before I even asked.
Her mother did?
Yeah,
That's dope.
we was gonna make that happen. We talked about it a lot, but yeah, not really pressure. I was gonna do it anyway. But it was that time.
I mean, we were both super young, so I could understand his, nervousness. I mean, what 24-year-old guy gets married?
Yeah.
But I mean, at that point, I still knew you were the one. I mean,
Right.
honestly, I left school, like, I was in Lawrence, and I came back, and I already knew she was the one. It's just making that commitment. Because as a man, when you make that commitment, I'm all about, Gabby knows when I make a commitment, that's what it is. So it's just making sure, like, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to ruin anybody, or make them upset, or I just wanted to make sure she was the right one, and I knew that, but it's just hard to make that commitment. We men, we already know. So,
For sure.
My kids were excited. He proposed to me with, our kids in the room. And so my daughter was just like, oh, she had turned into an old Baptist woman. Oh, girl. No, girl, let me see that ring. My son cried. Oh, he was so happy he cried. And then the baby, she was just there,
Yeah.
But I was speechless.
Word.
I left him on his knee for a while.
Yeah, she couldn't say nothing. I was like, I know you gonna say yeah. All right. Yeah, just go ahead.
Just say it.
But dealing with that.
Yeah.
My parents was cool. I mean, my pops and my mom was cool. They love her. My mom was like, okay, you need to probably go ahead and do this. Don't worry. My mom was like, don't mess this up.
Yeah.
Right, so now they were super happy.
Yeah.
What about y'all?
I know my family was happy. I was the last one out of my siblings to get married, and I'm the youngest, so my mom was, oh, my baby gets married. So she hit me with that. My parents was open for it. They enjoyed it. How's your family?
Mine, on the other hand, anybody that knows my mother.
I was about to say, if y'all know her mama, okay.
She
Okay.
tortured this man.
Yeah.
The first time he came to my house, she put spices in his green beans.
So when she say torture, she for real?
Like, for real.
Like, she tortured him, and I didn't know. Like, he was like, oh, it was hot, and I was like, that's how she always cooked. Like, it was extra hot for him. Like, she didn't think that he was good enough for me. And as a mother, it was just me and her growing up, so she was like, ain't nobody good enough for my baby. Again, the player stereotype.
Yeah.
He just gonna leave, he's gonna do this, And then, of course, we had a baby before we got married. So she was like, oh, well, he's not gonna stay, he's gonna leave. So when it came down to him proposing, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell, it just the vibe. Yeah. Now she's like, dang, I feel kind of bad because he's actually a good guy.
Yeah.
So they're working on it.
And we got a very, very good relationship now, way better than when it started.
Yeah.
And for the record, it was spicy green beans, and I ate all of them.
All of them.
Ate all of
Did
them.
you do something to your Kool-Aid too?
What?
No. She didn't do nothing.
He said we did have a good relationship.
I'm over here trying to taste the Kool-Aid.
He said we had Kool-Aid last week.
That could be like that could kill a relationship. You go to somebody's house and they Kool-Aid bad.
Man,
That's serious deal.
Man, why that taste like homemade Kool-Aid?
You make the best Kool-Aid. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Word.
I'm
Okay. So when we do this Friendsgiving thing, I'm gonna bring the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
I
Yeah.
I ain't gonna throw the date out there because I don't want everybody watching to try to pull up at the crib. I got you. Don't even sweat.
Okay, so whose family doesn't leave when you say what y'all about to do? I'm for real. Y'all don't have that issue?
I'm trying to get us in trouble.
Because you're right. But like,
if I walk in the door, what y'all about to do?
but this is funny because my family, they moves around like that. But his family, it be like, when y'all leaving, like you gotta be direct. But Sam would get up and start moving stuff and like, all right, what y'all about to do? But they'll still be comfortable. They'll still be chilling.
You heard it.
Oh, you heard it.
Over and asking us what we got to do, but she want to kick it.
Okay.
And I'm always the one that's like, come on,
Let's go.
She's always asking us, but
Okay.
Me personally, I just go in my room.
Okay.
Well, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Not trying to be rude. I'm about to go to the room, man. You can handle the company.
Right.
And then they still do it.
I wake up and they still there.
I wake up and still there.
For real.
Right.
Yeah, we've gotten to a point we don't even answer the phone, the door.
Okay.
We don't even want nobody to come
You shaking
over.
everybody.
Sometimes.
Hey, I was gonna tell y'all a story, but I think my auntie watched this, so I'm gonna give y'all the story.
I'm
But
telling you, Thanksgiving right around the corner. You trying to ruin it for all of us.
we only having Thanksgiving after
Put
shit.
it out after.
Okay.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
No issues.
All right.
When we go. Okay. Kinda similar to the last two questions. What is your relationship like with your in-laws?
My father-in-law is my best friend.
Yes.
100%.
That's dope.
It's crazy because I feel like this is another reason why I know our marriage is so God ordained because I grew up with an absent father.
Word.
And unfortunately his mother passed when he was 4.
Yeah.
So us coming together was definitely necessary because he and his father have been that male aspect that I've needed growing up. Like I call his daddy now and be like, yo, come through and get me.
Yeah.
Or and he and my mom's relationship has grown so close, he needed that maternal thing.
Word.
So and then we all vibe.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
That's dope.
We got a lot in common because my mom passed when I was in college. And like her family, they took me in with open arms. Moms and pops, they so cool. Them some of the coolest people you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah.
You need anything, they there to help you, you know?
Definitely.
it helps your relationship too.
Yeah. And then my son, they embraced my son, and man, that just really melted my heart. Seeing them embrace my son, you know, because me and my son really tight. Because it's like when my mom died, I found out my son was gonna be born. Like it all in the same week. So
Wow.
it kind of threw me off. So to see my son and her mom just to have that bond, I'm like, man, it almost bring me like tears of joy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I second that because we share the same in-laws.
Exactly.
Okay.
My mother-in-law, and father-in-law, they some of the illest people in the
Yeah.
world. And they keep it
I'm
so 100. Like her pops is probably I ain't have no pops. Her pops is like such a cool cat. Like he one of them old Chi-Town type of cats. He just like he moves so like I don't even know how to describe.
He's just smooth.
Smooth. Like he just moved, and he got so much game.
Yeah.
And he give it out in like little nuggets.
Yeah.
Like real chill, and he got the crazy sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like they're my people.
Yeah.
Man, I can see it now.
Yeah.
He said that I was trying to figure it out.
Like how they share
You share your love.
So they add up. Yeah.
So I get along with Mr. Andrews pretty well. He was like, he had me shook though when I met him early on. She would tell me all these stories about how he treated her friends growing up, or how he was just this guy, and then he's Air Force, retired Air Force. He had what was that, marksmanship?
No, why do you say that?
I
didn't say that.
Man,
Very.
and he was Air Force. But he cool though. He's cool, you know. But at first I was shook. I
Yeah.
think I met him at the was it the bingo deal
Oh yeah.
he was doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good now.
Yeah, Gucci now.
Watch the game back in the little den and everything.
Yeah.
He dropped off some pecans.
She gets some pecans every year. Yeah. So, and I love his dad.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's great.
They talk all the time.
Yeah.
They talk without me. They act like I'm not even in the band.
That's how I do it.
My dad.
I done had to threaten to box my pops a couple times. Like, what time is it? You calling her? What? I walk in the room here. Yeah, how you doing? Who's asking you how you doing? But
that's my daddy. I love him.
I call him my daddy.
Yes. I mean, I remember everything that went down. Flat tires, my car won't start. Daddy, where you at? Like, it just be awesome. And another story, I'm gonna keep it short, but my dad was absent in my life. And so we would have a here and there relationship, but he was just absent. It wasn't until I had my son that my dad came around. So it was like, not only was I getting to know his family, I was getting to know my dad and his side of the family.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And I think he laughs at me every day. He's like, yo, that's weird.
Me and her dad got a relationship too. So, some people may think of it like, oh, your dad wasn't around, and when you meet him, you have that, standoffish type of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, you wasn't here. What you doing? Like that. But after I met him, it was like, dang, all right, let me show you love just like you show her love. I'm not going to, distance you from your, because it's funny because he had all girls. Mm-hmm. So for me to have a grandson, it'll be the first male kind of with his bloodline. Was special for him, so I wasn't gonna never steer him away from that. So we got a good relationship too.
Still working on it with my mama.
Yeah, clearly.
So actually, I got to piggyback on that question. So, how much of your parents' relationship or lack of relationship, how much of that has shaped your relationship? Because I always look at, I look at like parenting as well as relationships. Like you either raise your kids or you treat your marriage the way that your parents embraced theirs, or you treat it the way you resented what was going on. Yeah. Right. So how does that shape the way you approach your marriage?
I think it played a big part for us because my mom and dad weren't married. I knew going into a relationship that I did not want to be a single parent, and I did not want to raise my son in a single household, just because I seen the effects it had on my mom. So it made me fight, I think, more with our relationship versus me just being like, it's whatever, I'll walk out.
Right.
Not that I couldn't do it, I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah, God got a crazy way of showing y'all stuff. I mean, my parents were together, been together for 30 plus years. And, being in that household, I got to see them in the struggle, working together, to get where they are now. And our marriage is very similar to kind of how their marriage is and was. So to be able to see it, it's like, man, God really pieced us together, especially, for whatever our purpose is to continue in life. So it's great. Our relationship is very similar to my parents. Wow.
I seen your dad on Monday because my daughter takes dance with his mom, and he came, and it was like late because they get out almost like 8. And he's like, she drive herself, but it's dark, so I come walk my baby to the car. I was like, okay, you gotta do that. Drive up there to walk her to the car.
Man.
Right. So that's cute.
I think one thing about our relationships, as far as mirroring our parents, we look at it because both of our set of parents, they got divorced late over age. So we look at that now like, when our kids are a certain age, we're gonna be here, we're gonna be traveling. Like to us, it's like we want to break that generational thing, that thing that we went through growing up as I went through it 5 years ago. My parents got divorced. She got a little early, so it's late. Well, these are supposed to be the times you're older, your kids older, you have grandkids. Like you really supposed to be enjoying each other then, because you're going downhill on life. So I think we totally look at their relationships like, we totally don't want to be that. You know what I mean? Just living in a relationship where just being there. That's what it is. When you divorce that late, obviously there's years that went on that she was just existing in the relationship. And the kids are gone and everything, and like this is the time we supposed to be enjoying it. So that's something that we take pride in as far as never wanting to be that. That's respectful.
I'd say my mom definitely shaped the way I approach my marriage, because my mom by herself, she did everything growing up. She raised my cousin too. It's like my brother. So that single mom thing, so it drives me crazy because, we all got wives that's bosses. You know what I mean? I don't know if everybody's wife embraces the way my wife do. She make you think she the only one at the house sometimes because she's like she owns everything she does. And that's something that drives me crazy because I'm like, nah, like you don't have to. You're not a single mom. You don't have to. You got this. But it's more just so I think it's the Virgo in it. That
I just get it done. I'm not even thinking. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just getting it done.
I think it is a mom. It's a mom. I think it is. But it irks me because I'm like, baby, let me help you out. Let me. And then when she do let me help with stuff I don't want to do. Come on, man.
Like, but yeah, I ain't want to do that.
Right. I want to help, but can I do this?
So, yeah. So I'm gonna keep one more serious question. I'm gonna pass to her because I think it's a perfect segue. So, many marriages end in divorce. So, what do you think is the most important part of the marriage to concentrate on to keep it stable?
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in and say you have to know your spouse, because there are days when I know she in go mode. I know to fall back. I know I need to get the kids. I know what I need to do to make the house settle, right? And I think that to your point, when those kids leave, you gotta have you gotta have something to live on. Like you gotta have a relationship to be able to grow and to continue to move forward. So I think nothing helps that more than truly knowing at the core who your spouse is, what their goals are, how you can make them better, and how they can make you better. If you know all of that, then you can continue to move forward and be able to look forward to things as you move on in life. Without that, if you just settle on the kids gonna leave at some point. And then what you gonna do? Then you sitting there looking like, man, ugh.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really have to have that truly genuine love and care and knowledge of who your spouse is, and I think that really helps.
That's when we got back together, me and Felicia, way back in the day, we dated without Naya, because we wanted to make sure that what we had was us. It wasn't because of Naya. So I think that's mad important, man, because a lot of folks get lost in the kids. I'm gonna start you, go ahead.
I would say two things. Being empathetic is very important. So putting yourself in another person's shoes, how would they feel in certain situations, and that was always important for me. Then setting goals for yourself, there's certain, not being afraid to just go, just being ambitious and setting goals. We continue to set goals every single year, even if we don't reach them. We talk about what things we could have done better to maybe reach those. So every year we set goals for ourselves, and then trying to do things to enjoy each other. Live this life. You only get it once. So go travel, do all the things you want to do. And since you're doing it together, we just grow during those times. Those are important times. So I think empathy and definitely setting goals are two things that are very important.
Yeah, I would say probably the old cliche, communication, for sure. I mean, with intention. With the intent of what it is that you're trying to portray. Because I know sometimes I misconstrue what it is that he's saying because of the way he's saying it versus actually what his intent is behind it. So I'm learning to try to understand the way he communicates in this phase of his life. So
that's dope. We always talk about that.
Yeah. I didn't intend to make you mad.
I just always say
my wording was wrong.
And I'm not perfect. So
and
at the
I
end of
gotta
the
get
day,
better at that.
I'm just asking you, where did it come from? Was it coming from a bad place? And if I'm not coming from a bad place, just understand. I may have not said it correctly, but I'm not coming from a place of trying to be rude or disrespectful. So I just think it's consistent growth, always.
And I'm very detail oriented, so I'm very technical too. So if you use that sentence, that's what I think you mean.
Right.
And I've got to try to learn.
Some wiggle room.
We don't always say stuff correctly. We don't always say stuff correctly, but I'm coming from a good place.
That's my favorite thing in a disagreement. Let me reiterate what I said so you don't answer what I said and you think I said. Let me make sure.
And it's okay to do that.
Because I don't want you to hear that. And then we go.
That's that wrong.
Right. So I would add intimacy. That's big for me. I'm not gonna front whatever intimacy means to you. Don't have to put words in your mouth. Don't put words in you. But touch, cuddling, whatever that is, that has to be a part of it, and it has to be intentional and an important part, because it's super easy to pass by each other, pick up the kids, put the kids down, you're running by each other, go to bed, and you can get super routine. And you miss those really important pieces of holding hands or kissing, or however you do, whatever you do. Those things have to be important.
For sure. That was my next question, but please tell me I can't ask it.
What?
It was, do you make love as much as you would like?
Oh, we wrong.
On social media.
Well, so we are gonna go to that question, but for real, I like this question though, because I'll be really thinking like, man, I think this scenario and the Who Knows Who Best show in general, I think it gives couples an opportunity to really have dialogue you might not have naturally, you might not have on a regular day basis. And I'll be wondering if my brothers are able to really articulate everything else afterwards. But I'm gonna leave that there because the breeding's gotta go next.
So this is our last question. How present is faith in your marriage? Like, is that a big
day?
Yeah.
Like if it ain't what, it'll be a long marriage. You gotta be every day. Every single damn minute. Every damn minute of the day. I mean, that's consensus. Because I mean, we've been there. We've been on the. Okay, this might be something that we may not want to do anymore. So you gotta, without it, it's nothing.
I suggest y'all do the 30-day prayer challenge. We're actually doing it right now.
100.
And a lot of it, that personal relationship with God, not being afraid to pray. I think that's important, and have those conversations about what we're gonna pray about.
Right.
The things that, even our friends, we pray for them, and I think there's certain times when people are in certain situations, and then always just trying to be the best person you can be. So that is really it.
God is definitely the foundation, and just like. Remember to pray for your spouse too. Like you don't even have to tell them what you're praying for. They just laying there asleep. I'm just gonna pray, Lord Jesus. You know? But for real, because like you never know what they go through out in the world, and just, whatever the thoughts may creep in, the enemy always try to creep. So just keeping them prayed up, and then praying for you, so you can understand them. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of things, and just keeping that foundation with God and keeping Him at the center of everything.
Amen. I forget what the scripture it is, but it say, husbands love your wife like Christ loved the church. And He died for that. So, 100. So
we talked about prayer real quick, and I'll just tell y'all, this man, I don't know what was going on. It was early in the morning. And he was like, I don't think I was feeling good or something. And he said, can I pray for you? And I said, go ahead, pray for me. This man said, dear Lord, can you get these demons out of my life?
It wasn't like that. I didn't say it like that. But I prayed, because she was tossing and turning the whole night. I'm like, all right, first off, I can't sleep. You keep moving. Something, it was life. The life had already been going on. You felt that in the process. And I did take that time and was like, let me pray for you. Because I feel like something is bothering me. Something's going on. And it was. And it was. And I didn't say that. But we all have sin. And we all have sin in us still. That's how we were born into sin. The flesh is sin. I mean, it's sense, and it's gonna always be that way. So I was praying for covering over my wife.
When he came home, when it dawned on me what he said,
and she said,
"What you
she
mean,
was like,
demons?
If you ever prayed to say some demons out there." I didn't say it like that.
That's funny.
Well, we definitely appreciate you guys all coming out. Everybody's busy. Schedules are crazy. So we appreciate you guys lending us your time. Yes, for sure. This is definitely helpful, I think. And I think people would get something from this. So I really appreciate it.
I agree. I say this is our ministry, right? Not just couples, but I think black couples, I think that's extremely important, especially in our community, in our society, right? We get a bad rap, but you're able to see folks 20 years, 3 years, right? Like, they're able to see that huge gamut. Y'all's high school sweethearts, right? Like, I first met y'all when I first met Felice, you know what I mean? Like, it's so much to all of these different relationships, and to be close friends with each and every one of y'all, family with each and every one of y'all. It's very humbling. It's super dope. And we got more people to get on next season, so holla.
Yeah.